So hi everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I'm your host, Charlotte, from the admissions office at Jönköping University. Before we begin, some practical information. This webinar will be recorded and it will later be put on our YouTube channel and our web. We do understand that leaving your home for studies in a new country can be very challenging. So Jönköping University is trying to ease your worries by offering guaranteed accommodation for our international students who are admitted in the international admissions rounds. So this is what you'll learn about in this session. So now I'm gonna welcome Karin at our accommodation office, and Karin will tell us more about this.
Yes, I'm going to show you. My name is Karin. I work at the accommodation office together with my colleagues, and I will show you the process of applying for accommodation. So I will share my PowerPoint, and I will go it through with you, and then you can, as Charlotte said, have the questions afterwards. So, as I said, my name is Karin, and I work at the accommodation office. And I have some important dates for you to remember. As you all know, I guess, the accommodation application is open from now until May 25th. And I think you all have received the email with the login details. Then you also have to remember to register your arrival, and it's open from July 1 to 20. You will all receive an email when it's time to announce your arrival. The last important date to remember is the pickup service, who will be in August 15 to 18th, Thursday until Sunday. And we will be open from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. So the process for accommodation application. As I said, you have received an email with the link and also the login details. So just follow the link, and then you will come to a form. So fill in the form and state 3 housing options. The housing options can be found at our website, and I will also go through the housing options here in just a few slides. When the application is made, you will receive a message that your application has been registered, and then you can ease out for a couple of weeks. And you will receive an email by the end of June asking you to register your arrival date. And as I said, it will be open from July 1 to 20. This is an important step because the arrival registration is a confirmation of the application, which means that if you don't register, you are not guaranteed accommodation. So this is important to remember. We have the pickup service from August 15 to 18, and we will be open 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. This means that you can, when you register your arrival, you can state if you want to be picked up at the Jönköping bus and train station, or if you want to go directly to the university. We will pick you up at the bus and train station if you choose that option, and drive you to the university. Then you will come here, sign the contract, and get the keys for your accommodation. Then we will drive you to your new house. Just a note, pickup service will start from Jönköping. If you arrive at Stockholm, Gothenburg, or Copenhagen airport, you have to go by bus or train to Jönköping. And their staff from accommodation office will meet you up. So if you arrive to Stockholm, Gothenburg, or Copenhagen, you have to come here first and then make use of the pickup service. I will just show you some the housing options that you can choose from. You will also have the information on the website. But this is Linsen, so it's just like 300 meters away from the university. As you can see, they have a great view. And at Linsen, you stay with 1 to 5 other students. You share the bathroom and kitchen, but you have your own room. At Kunskapsfabriken, we have the famous laundry room. This is the nicest laundry house that we can offer. And we have, here you have your own apartment. And you also have common kitchens and common areas where you can meet your friends. So if you want to stay in your own apartment, this is the accommodation for you. We have Roslet, who is our biggest accommodation area. You share accommodation with other students. Mostly you share with 2 or 3 others. And this is a great place to meet new friends from all countries and also from Sweden. You have this great common building where you can play table tennis, PlayStation, you have the free gym. So this is a very nice place, I think, if you want to meet new friends. We have the Beta House, who is just in the city center. It's a dormitory, and it's an option for you who want to meet new friends, and where you can cook together, and you have you live close to the city, close to the gyms, restaurant, and grocery stores, and it's just like a 10 minutes walk, or maybe 15, to the university. Then we have Ekhagen, who is like 10 to 15 minutes bus trip from university. You have you live close to the nature, and also you have the great shopping mall just around the corner as well. So and here you stay in your own apartment. You have a small kitchenette and your own bathroom. It's a quite big area with 350 other students. So, accommodation guarantee. As an international student, you're guaranteed accommodation as long as you follow the process. And we will do our best to provide one of your 3 housing options. It's not a guarantee that you will get one of your options, but we will always try to give you the first, second, or third. But it's randomly divided. So we will look at your application and do the best what we can to provide one of your housing options. And if you have applied for accommodation, and if you have announced your arrival, but for some reason you will not arrive, then just let us know by email that you will not be here. Otherwise, and this should be at the latest on July 20. Otherwise, you might have to pay a cancellation fee, and that's equal of 3 months rent. So it's important that you notify us as soon as you know if you're not arriving. Also, we get a lot of questions if you will be handed out the information which accommodation that you will get beforehand. But it's not possible for us to give you this information due to the administrative process. So you will get the information about which accommodation you will get on the day that you arrive. Okay, what to bring? At your accommodation, you have furniture and duvet and the pillow, but you need to bring your bed linens, towels, and personal belongings. And at some accommodations, you also have to buy your own cutleries. Sometimes other students leave their old one behind for you, and sometimes you have to buy it by yourself. But you have IKEA and also the other stores near, so it won't be a problem. If you have any questions now, you can share them with Charlotte and me. Otherwise, you can also send me an email at accommodation@ju.se, and we'll be answering every day.
So the application process. there is an application fee, right?
Yes. The fee of you pay a fee to do the application, and it's 850 Swedish crowns. It's not refundable. That's the question I often get. But you have to pay that to make the application.
Because it's part of the application and your work with
the administration.
Yeah. So the three options. Should they prioritize these three options?
I think the most common is the price range, and if they want to stay in a shared or accommodation or by themselves. So always put your first priority as your first option, and then the second and third.
So what about and someone who wants to come before the pickup dates?
This year, the pickup starts on the 15th. Other years it had been started at a later point, but the earliest you can be here is on the 15th, because the contract or the rental agreements will start at that date. So the pickup service is on the same day that you can be here.
You arrive either at the bus train station and are picked up and taken to Jönköping University campus, where you will be in our service center, which is kind of the to-go place where our students find most of the information. And the accommodation office will have drop-in times there
Yes.
during
You will meet me there.
Yes, Karin will be there during the rest of the semesters as well, on certain days, if you have questions about accommodation and things like that. So if you want to talk to Karin and not just send an email, you can then visit the drop-in service center. After the first year, during the summer, can you stay on in your accommodation over the summer?
If you will be a student for the coming autumn semester, you can stay during the summer. Usually you have 1 or 2 months rent free. It depends on which accommodation you stay at. But if you will leave after 1 year, then you can't stay during the summer.
Good to know.
Yeah.
What about, this is a lot of questions we get. Family members.
Jönköping University will not provide accommodation for family members. If you plan to bring your family, you have to find housing by yourself. And also note, it can be a bit difficult to find housing since you don't have a Swedish personal number. You can always try, but remember that the university will not provide accommodation for family members or friends.
Or friends, yes.
Yeah.
But if I'm a student who's coming with a friend who's also going to study at Jönköping University, can we share accommodation?
Yes, you can always state in your application that you are prepared to share the bedroom or the room with another student, and you can also state a specific student in your application. And then it's also important that the other student also state your name. And then we will do our best to find a good housing solution.
Right. Yeah, and the Swedish personal number is something that you can only apply for once you've arrived, and if you're going to study for more than 365 days, because it's part of the Swedish population registry. That's where the personal number belongs to. So it can be difficult to find accommodation without a Swedish personal number. Not impossible, but more difficult.
Yes. And also, if you have applied for accommodation, you have announced your arrival, but then you arrive with your family, You can't stay in the accommodation with your family, but you still have to pay for the accommodation. So it's important to know that you have to be prepared for it.
So, yeah, the application for accommodation, you have to have been admitted before you can apply, because once you've been admitted, you get the information that you need to log on how to log on to the accommodation system.
Yes.
So number one, you have to be admitted. Then you apply for accommodation.
Yes.
So we'll check to see if we have some questions. Someone told me it's possible to get a special price for accommodation, and I want to know more about it.
No, you can't get a special price for accommodation. Everyone gets the same price.
And on our website for accommodation, where the apartments and dorms are listed, there's more information on the cost range, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it varies because it's depending on the square meters and how, if you stay in a dorm or if you have your own apartment, etc.
Which accommodation is the cheapest?
I think Råslet is the cheapest one, since you're sharing, and it's like 10 minutes by bus from the university.
How do we go from Copenhagen airport to Jönköping, and how long does it take?
By bus or train, I guess it takes like 3 hours or something, 4 maybe.
Depending on if it's train or bus.
Yeah.
But we have more information about that as well on the accommodation website.
Yes.
And with suggestions as well.
Yeah.
So check that. Do all of the dorms have the option to pay monthly? I saw that there are some where you have to pay for a whole semester.
At 2 of the housing options, which is Ekhagen and Råslet, you pay monthly. Otherwise, you pay for the whole semester in one installment. At Ekhagen, you also have like a deposit which you pay when with the first rent, which you get back when you move out if everything is okay with the apartment. So it's a little bit different from accommodation to accommodation.
Is there room sharing in Linsen?
No, you don't share room in Linsen, but you can share an apartment. So if you're 2 persons who want to share an apartment, they're an option at Linsen, because the apartments are shared by 2 persons or 4 persons or 5 persons.
Can I apply for accommodation regardless of my conditional admission? Yes, because once you've been conditionally admitted, you still have received a letter of acceptance, and you receive information on how to create the account that you can log on to the accommodation application system with. So yes, you can apply even for that. Do you make a difference if students stay for 3 years for their bachelor or just for 1 semester to get their wished apartment?
No. We look at all applications individually.
In terms of prices for housing, certain accommodation price points are given within a range. What does the range mean? Does it correspond to room size?
Yes. Yes.
Is it possible to choose a cheaper or more expensive room in the building we are assigned to?
No, you always have to be prepared to pay the higher amount.
Is the price range listed on the website for the whole apartment or per person? In this case, this person is asking about Linsen.
It's per person.
Is furniture included in Kunskapsfabriken as well?
Yes.
So all the student accommodation has the furniture. You just have to.
Yeah, all accommodations are furnished with bed, desk, chair, wardrobe.
Okay. And duvet and pillow.
Yeah, also,
So,
yes.
yeah, so bedding and towels you have to bring.
Yes.
If your top choice is your own room or studio versus shared, can they at least honor that? Or is there a chance you'll get a shared room?
No, you will not. If you haven't stated that you wanted to share a room, then you will not share a room.
If the assigned accommodation is expensive, is it, or if it's not suitable for me, can I change?
No, the accommodation guarantee is not including, does not include to change accommodation. You're always free to cancel the contract with 3 months cancellation time, but then you have to find housing by yourself. And on the Jönköping municipality website, there are also all housing companies listed, which the companies that we have in Jönköping. But as you said, it can be a bit difficult to find accommodation if you don't have the Swedish personal number. So maybe it's easier to look at Blocket or Facebook and Airbnb, for example.
Can we choose how many students that live in our apartment?
No.
Is it an option to have a double room for 2 people?
No, there's not an option in the application. But if you apply as a shared room, I'm just thinking, no, there are no double rooms.
So say it's a couple who are both going to study, they can share a room or just share an apartment?
Yeah, they share an apartment, but the apartment is like a studio where you have the bedroom is in the open area of the apartment. So there are no doors, so to speak. Except for Linsen, where you have your separate rooms in the shared apartment.
We have a question about the pathway accommodation different from semester accommodation. Well, if you're doing pathway intensive English on campus during the summer, the 4 weeks, then that is its own accommodation. That's part of the program fee you've paid. And then you have to apply for accommodation for moving into Jönköping when the follow-up master or bachelor program starts.
Yes.
Right. So you still have to apply for the accommodation.
Yes.
You're doing pathway intensive English summer. Is it possible to leave my packages at the accommodation when traveling back to my home country, for example, for Christmas?
Yes, since you have a rental agreement and the apartment or room is yours, you can leave your things there during winter break or summer break, or yeah.
What about someone who goes for an exchange semester?
Yeah, if you plan to go on exchange semester, you need to cancel the contract at your accommodation. And then when you are returning to JU, you contact us by email. As a returning student, you're not guaranteed accommodation, but we will, of course, try to help you. So you need to cancel the contract if you go on exchange. Yeah, you will get an offer, but maybe it's not your first choice offer, but we will get you an offer for accommodation.
Are the accommodation rent-free? No.
No.
You are going to pay rent.
Yes.
So if someone arrives before the 15th, you're going to have to arrange for housing on your own until you can access the student accommodation. What if someone arrives after the pickup dates?
Then you come, it's easiest if you tell us when you will arrive, and we will be prepared to meet you up. Otherwise, you have to visit the accommodation office at the service center during office hours. Usually we will be here from 9 a.m. to until 3 p.m. That's the opening hours for the service center. So if you arrive after August 18, let us know, and then we will see if we can arrange a time for you. Otherwise, be here on the opening hours, and you will get your key. But then we will not have the pickup service, so you have to go to your accommodation by yourself, but we will guide you.
What about, you said the notification by 20th of July if you're not going to come. So say, for example, that a student from a country outside of the EU has not yet received their residence permit, and
Yes.
it's rejected on August 15th.
Yeah.
What happens for that student?
Yeah, then we will try to rent the book department or room to another student. And for us, it's important to, if the student who will not be arriving, that he or she inform us as soon as possible, so we can rent the apartment to another student. Otherwise, it might be like a cancellation fee for the student who have booked the accommodation, but we know that it's difficult with the visa sometime, and we will do what we can to not give the student a cancellation fee.
So, no guarantees, but we'll try to do our best to
Yeah.
help this student. Okay. Oh, are pets allowed?
No.
No. So if you're planning to bring your pet, you're going to have to find your own accommodation.
Yes.
Or don't bring your pet from the beginning and then find your own accommodation and move out from the student accommodation, and then you can bring your pet or have your pet sent to you.
Yeah.
I guess.
We like pets, but not at the student accommodation.
Right. Again, what about programs that take 1 year from August to August? Oh, yeah. Most of the 1 year master programs are 10 months long. We do have one master program that is 75 credits. So it's actually longer. It's 12 months long. What about accommodation for that program? Engineering management is now 365 days.
So will they stay
August?
Okay, so they will stay August to August. I have to check on that actually, and how many students it will be who have this long course, but I can get back with information.
We'll try to make sure that students admitted to the engineering management master program get the information that they need. All other 1 year master programs, when your studies end, your contract also ends. So you can't stay over the summer. Can the accommodation office help to get some kind of insurance that was recommended?
You need to have like a home insurance. The easiest way to start is to check with your own home insurance company, your insurance company from back home, and see if they have like a comprehensive insurance which you can buy, or if it's already included in your regular insurance. Otherwise, we have a local insurance company in Jönköping where you can buy insurance. But you will also get the information upon arrival, because you can't buy it before you arrive. So you will have, on the pickup service, you will have information about the insurance, if you haven't already arranged it from your home country. But it's most important that you have a home insurance. Yeah.
Is it possible to get assigned to the same building with a friend? Not the same room, but building.
If you state the same housing options, then hopefully you will get in the same building. We can't guarantee it.
If a family member or friend visits, can they stay for a few days in my apartment?
Yes, we usually say 1 to 2 nights, and it's good that we know that you have a visitor if in case something will happen, but not more than 1 to 2 nights.
If I ask for a specific roommate, is it guaranteed that we will be in the same room?
It's not guaranteed, but we will do our best.
But you have to make sure that you put your friend's name and your friend puts your name.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it could be difficult to match.
It could be a good mix-up.
Can I get the accommodation before July 15th, taking the intensive course? So the intensive course, that will start on the 15th of July in Gränna.
Yes.
That accommodation is in Gränna. So arrival for that accommodation is when?
It's
So
on
pathway intensive.
13th and 14th of July. It should be, yeah.
Yeah. So for pathway intensive English course in Gränna that starts on the 15th has arrival and pickup on the
13th, 14th.
13th and 14th.
I think it's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. But you will see it on the website as well. And then for those who are on the pathway intensive course during the summer, those 4 weeks, we will drive you to to Jönköping on the 9th of August. But you will also receive that information during the course.
So when they end their intensive English course in Gränna, they get their accommodation in Jönköping
on the 9th.
On the 9th.
Yes.
Okay. But that's only for the ones who are moving from Campus Gränna to Jönköping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they have like a little gap there.
Can you change accommodation from year to year if you are going to stay for more semesters?
No. If you don't find something by your own.
Right. Some students actually start off with student accommodation, and then they meet friends and find accommodation on their own, so that they share a large apartment or something like that with 2 or 3 other friends on their own. So that happens.
Yes, it does.
How long is the contract that is signed?
It will be for the whole time that you will be a student at Jönköping University. So the contract is ongoing.
So what would happen if a student doesn't pay their rent?
Then we have to cancel the contract. So it's very important to pay the rent on time. So we will contact the student who doesn't pay, and then we will have to cancel the contract.
Can we change our accommodation after we come? No.
No.
Unless you find your own.
Yes. Yeah. But then you also have the cancellation period of 3 months, so which you need to pay for. So that's important to know.
Are there laundry rooms available at every accommodation?
Yes, and they are free. You don't have to pay to do your laundry.
That is a good piece of information. Is the administrative fee paid online?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you mean the 850?
Yes.
Yes. You pay it online.
And what if you don't have a card so you can pay it online? Can they contact accommodation and ask for help?
Yes, they can do, and then we can forward them to the finance office.
Are we required to apply for the Swedish personal number? No, but if you're staying for more than 365 days, it is very helpful because the Swedish personal number rules our lives. Even just going to the doctor. I mean, it's you can still go to the doctor without a Swedish personal number, but if you have a Swedish personal number, you only pay the same amount as Swedish residents pay for the healthcare. So that's part of the health insurance. Fee-paying students pay tuition fee, and then that's an emergency health insurance in that. European citizens should have their European health insurance card. But if you're here for more than 365 days, you really should register with the Swedish Population Registry, get a Swedish personal number so that you're covered by the Swedish health insurance. So that's part of the reason why it's a good thing to do. But that change doesn't happen. It's the tax office that deals with the Swedish personal number. And if you're granted one, you have to notify us at the university because there's no automatic transfer of that information. So once you get a Swedish personal number, visit the service center and get help to make that change. Will we be given an amount of time to pay the rent once we've arrived, or is it paid immediately along with signing the contract?
No, you don't have to pay when you sign the contract. If you stay at an accommodation where you pay for the whole semester, you have until the end of August to pay. At Råslet and Ekhagen, where you pay per month, you have to pay in a few days after arrival.
How is it decided which applicant gets which accommodation?
We look at each application, and then we try to give you the first option. But if many students have choose the same option, then we have to look at the second and third option, and it will be randomly divided. But we will look at all applications individually and do our best to find a good solution for everyone.
I missed the question about bringing someone during arrival. So if my friend will come to help me move, he cannot stay at my apartment?
For 1 day or so. Yeah.
So if your friend is just helping you to move and will be here for 1 or 2 nights,
it's okay. Yeah.
Can I stay in the same apartment for the whole 3 years?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. That's the contract.
We will recommend it.
Yeah, so that's the contract is for the 3 years.
Yes.
Except if you leave to do an exchange semester.
Yeah.
And then you
also need to study a certain amount of credits. You have to study to stay in a student accommodation. So at least 15 credits per semester.
Fee-paying students who have to have a study permit, they are required to be studying 30 credits per semester, so full-time studies, no matter what. What is the cancellation policy? Where can we find information about that and the respective deposit or rent policy for each accommodation?
Regarding deposit, you find it on the website for accommodation, and it's just at the Ekhagen accommodation you pay deposit. The rent, the cancellation is the same at every accommodation. We are following the Swedish rental law, so it's 3 months cancellation time. and you also always pay the rent during that period as well.
Do we need to buy our own cleaning supplies, or are there supplies we can use while there? And how does the cleaning the common areas work?
At those accommodation where you have common areas, we have like a cleaning schedule, and at the dorms, you usually get your cleaning supplies from us. If you stay in your own apartment, you have to buy it by yourself.
If we stay in a shared room, is there a room intended for studying?
No, if you stay in a shared room, they're not a 2-room apartment if you stay in a shared room. So the bedroom and the dining area is in the same room, so to speak, but the apartment is bigger. But you also have at most accommodations, you have like study rooms where you can use if you want to be by yourself or study with a friend. And you also have study rooms at school.
Yes, that's good to know. You can always book group rooms and study rooms on campus.
Yeah, we have a very open campus.
Yeah,
it can be all night.
Yes, and your JU card gives you access to the building, the school that you're admitted to, the engineering or the business school, so that you can enter the building even when it's locked. So yeah.
After office hours, so to speak.
Yes, after. Yeah. Does the rent include electricity or and heating costs?
Yes. Also Wi-Fi.
Yes, that was the next question. Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So yes, the student accommodation has Wi-Fi, and campus has Wi-Fi as well. Oh, I'm taking my car with me. Is it possible to get preferred with a student apartment with a parking spot, like in Ekhagen?
Yeah, if you choose Ekhagen as your first option, then hopefully we will place you there. And they have free parking. At the other accommodations, you have to pay for the parking. And it's a little bit different, but it's from like 500 SEK to 1,000 Swedish kronor for a month. And you can also park at school, but the parking permits are first come, first serve. So it's not a guarantee. Yeah, but Ekhagen is for free.
They're month to month, so you have to buy each month, and first come, first serve.
Yeah.
Can I receive parcels at the accommodation?
Yes, you can. You can put your address when you receive some. If you buy something that you have to receive by a parcel. At some accommodations, it's not possible for the postman to leave the packets there, and you will get like a note in your post box that you should go to a store to pick it up.
Do we wash our bed and pillow sheets ourselves? And how many are provided? Yes, you have to bring your own bedding, and you wash them yourselves in the laundry mats. That's for free. At the student accommodation.
But you wash them yourself.
Yeah, if I choose to not share, and if all the one-person rooms are filled, what happens?
You will not share if you choose not share. Yeah.
Basically, that is the primary focus. Yeah.
You
don't want to share.
Yeah, you might have to share the bathroom and kitchen, but not your room. Yeah.
In 2023 intake, I applied for accommodation and paid the amount then for the application. Since my residence permit was rejected, I wasn't able to come. I have applied again for the 2024 intake, Could I adjust with my previous payment?
Oh,
No.
you have to pay once again.
Yeah. So the application fee for the accommodation is for that administration period. Should I pay rent during the summer break?
No, at some accommodations you have 1 month rent free, and at others you have 2 months rent free.
But you still
You could
have
stay
the
there.
accommodation
Yes.
for the
Yeah.
summer. So yeah, it depends. It depends on your accommodation. How many months is counted as one semester?
Autumn semester is 5 months, and spring semester is 6 months.
How long does it take until you get the Swedish personal number once you arrive? And is it not possible to join any of the renting queues without it? Well, once you've arrived and you apply for a Swedish personal identity number, depending on how many are applying for it at the time, like peak time in August, September, it could take, I think, 5 to 6 weeks to get that number. And the actual renting queues need personal numbers. So it's more if the Facebook and other type of, like, it's called Blocket, selling and renting stuff where you could possibly find accommodation without a Swedish personal number.
Yeah, if you find like a private landlord,
yeah,
you can usually rent something without the Swedish personal number. But if you have like actual housing company, it is a bit difficult.
Is it possible that I didn't get an email about accommodation already? Well, if you haven't been admitted, you haven't received information. But you have to have been admitted and received the letter of acceptance before you receive the information on how to activate an account that will allow you to enter the accommodation application system to submit the application. How much time does someone have for moving out after graduation?
At Ekhagen and Roslet, you are moving out on June 15 at the latest. And at the other accommodations, you can move out at the latest on June 30.
In case we come by car, where can we park? Do you have any recommendations? Well, that depends. Are you talking about coming by car for the pickup, or you're bringing your car?
Yeah, bringing your car, we have, I guess, already answered.
Yeah.
But if you arrive to the pickup service, you have to look around the school for the fee-paying parking spots.
Yeah. And those are close to the lake, next to the School of Health and Welfare. But on our website, we have a map of campus, so you can see where that parking is. And then you can pay for the time you're parking while you're visiting. Are the apartments gender separated?
Yes, they are. If you share an apartment with other students, if you are 1 to 4 other students, they are gender separated. If you live in a dorm where there are more than 4 other students, it's mixed.
again, I mean, we don't have the type of, our dorms are not what you see in American movies where the showers are all open.
No, you can look.
Yeah.
You can be there by yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, own shower, you lock the door, and it's
This is
just
Sweden.
you. Is Ekhagen's transportation to the university the most difficult? Is there only one bus?
There are actually, I think, 2 buses there, and they are going like 5 times an hour. And that's also for Oslo. So I think it's easy either way.
And if you're living...
You can also buy a bike. You can
Yes.
ride by bike.
Yes, bikes. So
Yes.
Råslätt campus, that's about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Bike
It's very
ride.
common in Jönköping to go by bike.
Yeah. So, and since that's very popular, there are Facebook groups or other places like Blocket where you can buy a used bike when you get here.
Yeah. You can also go to this place called Cykelköket where you can have a bike for free, which you can fix up by yourself.
Nice.
Yeah. If you like that stuff.
If you know how to fix up.
Yeah.
Is there an option on the website to see images of the different rooms?
No, the rooms are like examples. Yeah, but the rooms are quite as the pictures at the accommodation web, but we have not the specific rooms.
Is it possible to find parking easily at the accommodations in the city?
No, I shouldn't say easily because you share with all other persons in the city as well. So they are parking houses and parking buildings, but it's not that cheap. So if you can leave your car back home, I think it should be recommended.
And then use the bus and bike.
Yeah.
But if you really have to bring your car, be prepared to pay for the parking, which can be around 1,000 Swedish kronor per month.
Yeah.
Again, if you're coming with family, you have to find your own accommodation.
Yes. And that's really important because if you come to accommodation office with your family, we will not be able to give you an apartment. And then you have to stay at a hotel, which will be quite costly, I guess. So we don't, even if we want to, we don't have the apartments for you.
Are there only international students in the student accommodation?
Mostly, but at some accommodation, it's also mixed with Swedish or national students.
Råslätt is one of those mixed.
Yeah, it is. And also Ekhagen, actually.
Yeah. In the section of accommodation, it's mentioned that the university will serve accommodation with a price up to 8,000 Swedish kronor. Is that right?
Yes. That's the highest amount you have to be prepared to pay. But most apartments is not on that amount. It's if you pay that much, you usually 2 students at an apartment at Kunskapsfabriken.
Another question is, so even if we have our own studio or non-shared space, we can only have a family over for 1 or 2 nights. For many of us, our families would come from quite far, so they would likely be visiting for longer.
Yeah, then they have to stay at a hostel or a hotel. Since at many accommodations you share the kitchen and the bathroom, and if all students have like friends over or family, they will be crowded. And that's also like a safety rule that we have, because the student accommodation is for one only. If there will be like, a fire or something, we will have a problem.
The building codes and housing fire regulations in Sweden are very strict,
Yes.
and that's for the safety of everyone.
You
And
can only be a certain amount of persons on a certain area. Yeah. That goes for parties as well.
yes, there's a maximum number of people who can be in the same room.
Otherwise, you have to speak to me and my colleagues.
Yes. The sooner we apply, there are a higher chance that we get our first choice if we apply early.
No, we will wait to look at the applications until everyone has applied.
So it's not first come, first served. You wait and then to make sure that we try to make the best for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it not possible to open a bank account without the Swedish personal number? It is possible. It could be a little bit more difficult. If you're staying for less than 365 days, you could apply for so-called coordination number, which can also be used to open a bank account. But the banks are their own entities, so they make the decision on whether or not to allow a person to open an account. So they will also look at sanction lists and things like that. But the Swedish personal number or the Swedish coordination number gives you a better chance to open an account. This person is asking, if I'm paying per semester and then I find my own housing after a month, what's the cancellation policy?
You have the 3 months cancellation time. And if you have paid for the whole semester, we will make a refund for the amount that is not for the 3 months cancellation time. Or did I make myself clear? No.
Well, if you're canceling your contract, you have 3 months
cancellation time
period.
But maybe you have already paid for the whole 5 months. So then we will refund the difference.
3 and 5 months.
The semester rent and the cancellation time.
But if it's month-to-month payment, you still have to pay for 3 months before you can.
You always have to pay for the cancellation time, which is 3 months.
Do you look at the program when you pair people together in apartments?
No. We try to mix. We will not place every exchange student or program student in one apartment. We will try to mix between countries, programs, and gender. Not gender in the apartments where you stay like a few students, but at our accommodations, we will have like a good mix.
Is there any option to get a discount in rent to work in the university services or something like that?
No.
No. No, not discount on rent. You can try to find part-time work. It's not very easy if you don't speak any Swedish, because most jobs require some sort of knowledge about Swedish so that you don't misunderstand signs or things like that. Yeah. And for tuition fee paying students who have a study permit, you're allowed to work but you're supposed to be studying full time, and full time is 40 hours a week. And you're also supposed to have shown the migration agency that you have the funds to support yourself, your living costs, which are rent and other necessary charges. Can I stay in the apartment during vacations period? Yes.
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 Yeah.
Is Ekhagen rent-free during the summer?
Yes, for 1 month.
Can those studying engineering business management get a Swedish number? Okay, engineering management is designed to be a full 12-month program so that you can get a Swedish identity number. Is it hard to go by bike in the winter?
Depends on the snow.
Usually, if it snows a lot, they're out. The city workers are out clearing the streets for the cars and also the bike path as well. It can be cold, of course, so you need to bundle up, layer upon layer with clothes.
Yes.
If it's really icy, you might have to take it easy so that you don't fall with your bike.
Yeah, there are people who are taking the bikes to work.
Oh, yeah.
During the winter. A lot of
Yes.
people.
Yes.
And the winter can be really short, but it can also be like long.
Yeah. And then you can have winter with snow, and then a couple of months without snow, and then all of a sudden you have snow for a few weeks again. Although the period for application is open, to guarantee the accommodation, we have to register our arrival information. Does that mean that the application for accommodation is only going to be saved, but there is not going to be a decision yet? Okay,
Yeah,
so basically, the application period that's open now until
May 25th.
May 25th is to submit your application saying you are interested in student accommodation, which accommodations you're interested in, and if you can consider sharing or not. And then the next step is to register arrival between 1st and 20th of July.
Yes.
To confirm your application.
Yes. If you don't announce your arrival, your application will get sorted out. Can I say that? And then, yeah, it will be taken away. And you will not be guaranteed accommodation. If you would forget to announce your arrival and then you will be here anyway, then we will try to give you accommodation, but you're not guaranteed.
That's the whole point of the guarantee, is to complete all the necessary steps.
Yes.
Of course, if you missed the step of arrival, we'll try to help you, but there's no guarantee that we can do that.
And then send us an email if you have missed the registration of arrival. It's easier if we know.
Do we have to pay for the cancellation if we leave the apartment between academic years? So during the summer?
And if you will return for this autumn semester?
Well, and I'm guessing what they're asking is if they find a different accommodation in between during the summer and they want to move somewhere else. It's still the cancellation is, you have a 3-month cancellation period. But if it's, say it's Ekhagen and one of the 3 months is the rent-free month,
Yeah, if you cancel the contract during the spring semester, you always have to move out on June 15. You will not be able to cancel the contract in June and then move out in September. Because if you're not being a student for the autumn semester, you cannot stay during summer. It's a little bit complicated, but you will find out on the contract when you be here.
How can you, here's a good one. How can you ensure our safety? For example, the dorms, are they open to anyone, or do you have a specific key or card to be able to enter?
The dorms are not open for everyone. It's only for students who live there. So if there are other students in the building or other persons, you are responsible for who will get in or not. And if there are like a party that goes out of hand or something like that, and there is a lot of persons in the building which you don't want to be there, and or if you are too many, or for some reason you don't feel safe, you just call the security company and they will be there. We cooperate with the security company in Jönköping, so you should be safe.
Last one we're gonna reply to, well, no, the first one. The living costs indicated on the JU web, are they accurate? If you mean the living costs in the International Student Guide, that has been updated, so should be, but that's always an average, and then your preferences will impact your budget. So if you like to spend a lot of money on your appearance, like hair products and things like that, yeah, you might have to
add on a bit.
Increase and enclose. You have to increase that budget. So the living costs that we indicate, they are average cost.
Yeah.
Can we lock our room door in our shared apartment?
Yes.
All right. The last question we're gonna answer here is, are the apartments gender separated even if we mention someone in our application from the opposite gender?
Yeah, if you want to share an apartment where there are two persons, of course you can share as a couple or as a girl or boyfriend, but we will not, in a shared apartment where there are 3 females, for example, we will not put your friend who is a boy there. Yeah, so that's how it works.
Okay, so if you have any other accommodation related questions, please send an email to Karin at accommodation@ju.se. If you have questions about the Swedish personal number or residence permit or things like that, send an email to admissions.office@ju.se, and we'll try to answer that. So thank you for joining us for this webinar, and we hope to see you in August and hear from you if you have questions or just want to say hello. So thank you all. And thank you, Karin.
Thank you, Charlotte. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.